Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching in the world. I am talking to myself. I'm doing this through different means. We're not going to get a clock up above us, but Michael waiting in the 90 minutes show, but that's not until after. So I'll jump over there and tell them to come over to this one and say, hey guys, we're watching it on a separate link and I've just created it. So I'll do that. I'll say, oh, where'd my chat go? But thank you for that. Show the chat. We are watching extra camera. There we go. We're starting to draw people in there. We're watching in the new link for the Stockport one. I've sent this out to Matt and to them. Matt, Josh, Baz, in case they wanted to join. We talked about doing this as a group effort, and it's on me working till 2 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't able to come back and say, hey, that's a great idea. So I just assumed that it was a possibility. They may have done other plans and other things, and that's going to be for them to go ahead and figure it out. The other thing that I'm going to ask of you while you're here, we're doing this through Restream and not through other means. And so by all means, could you kindly let me know if you're hearing a reverb? If you're hearing a reverb and it's annoying and you're getting the broadcast through, then I'm going to want to know so that I may. TV audio is coming through. That's what I wanted to check. So I'm going to hit mute. I'm going to go grab a headset, a different one. I'll be right back. No, I don't want to do that. I'm bringing back the chat overlay. There we go. All right. So that should get rid of that. And away we go. We're watching this one. So I've got this one swapped around laptop to computer. And so we will bring this up and allow me to bring in some extra chats as we get underway. 10 seconds in, and Stockport's going from left to right. And the MK Dons from right to left. This one in Stockport. And what are we hoping for? The draw, I think, was the vote last time, some 2/3 or just over 2/3. 5 points clear of Crew. It's starting to maybe look like a 4-team fight. We'll end up seeing what happens with this one. Do we talk about the Wrexham game? But on 16 of you, I've sent the message out to everybody. Like I said, if you're just joining, 16 people drawn in. The other thing, 2 things. No clock running on this one. Restream doesn't have a counter that I've been able to figure out how to make it operate here. Otherwise, I'd probably use this service because it's a little bit easier to move, less opportunity for gremlins. And the scoreboard is just a straight graphic, so it's going to require a complete graphic amendment every time something happens. It'll take some delay for it to be updated should that occur. But I am liking watching on DAZN. Cheering for a draw. So let's nobody score. We're hoping for a boring one. This one's we won 3-1, Dale. 3-1 for the good guys. Cannon with 2 goals, Mullen with the other, all in the first half, and then sort of just cruised through things for the most part. And so looking at the lineup for Stockport, a 4-3-1-2, Kane, Horsfall, Pye, Toure. In the midfield, Powell, Camps, Lemonhay, Evans, Madden, and Wooten and Oluwafe up front. And then for the Dons, Kelly in goal. They're running a 3-4-2-1 with Williams, O'Hara, Harvey, Lofthouse, Payne, Bate, Tomlinson, Weirn, Gilby, and Tesgall up front. Oh, wait, I've got that the wrong way around. Wrong way around. Tesgall in the back. As soon as I get to the name, I was like, wait a second. Kelly's their striker as that corner went in. Tesgall in the back. Weirn and Gilby are the 2. They're 4 in the midfield. Lofthouse, Payne, Bate, and Tomlinson. And you got Williams, O'Hara, and Harvey, and Kelly up front. No, I had that. What's going on here? Who's the goalie for MK Dons? I feel like a complete noob watching this one because no research was done, no knowledge was gained. Yeah, Kelly's the keeper. Tezgel up front. I just don't recognize the name Tezgel. Now I've got to bring up their stats. Free kick MK. They've had a corner early. Nothing deriving from it. MK Dons. Tezgel, 18 years of age, only his third start, and this is what threw me off. He's got a goal, and he's up front today. Early on the start, changing things up are the MK Dons, going with an 18-year-old. 269 minutes. So that one threw me off. Diandra, how are you? Thanks for joining in on this one. Andrew's drawn in on this one as well. Everybody gets red cards. Is that what we're cheering for? Are we cheering for suspensions? And McLean drawing back in for the next one, so it'll be nice to have him back. As that one's forwarded on, no offside call given. MK Dons, and now the flag goes up. As that one worked over to Tomlinson on the left-hand side. Flag goes up. Nothing there. Ruby, Deandra, man, you guys are all addicts. Like, I don't know what the twitch is for people who don't get enough Wrexham and what our problem is going to be for the second off season that we have to go through. Well, third, since streaming, third, I guess, for a lot of us as well. But pre-streaming, that was a different era. I wasn't fully committed at that point. The streaming's what ended up working it over. Yeah, I think that's what we're going for. For me, the 68% voted in the watch party that we were hoping for a draw. Anytime you can take away a point, right, from the teams that are around you, I think that's what you're hoping for. And then you've always got Brendan sitting here cheering for suspensions. Hinchcliffe gets it knocked down. Stockport having a struggle getting it out of their zone, drawn back by the MK Dons over on the left-hand side. And that's going to be Gilby over on the left side. Tries to flick it forward, but that's going to be chested down and cleared. The pressure is all MK Dons to start. Other than that initial corner and first foray over, it's been MK Dons now for probably about 3 minutes. Franchise FC, if you will. I'm just trying to make arrangements here with the people who may want to join in and have a chat with us as well. So then we'll do the after 90 and hope they can join in on that. But it'll be Madden had an opportunity there, took a crack at it, got it left. Why is it that there's so many good strikers in League Two that are bald? Because that one was advanced forward, landed on Madden, and he volleyed the hell out of that from about 25 yards out. It went left, and the keeper wouldn't have got over there. As they're playing in the rain, well, that's helpful for a low-scoring affair. Let's hope this thing stays 0-0. The timer won't run on this. I'm using Restream, and if I'm able to figure out a way to get a countdown timer that works properly within that blocks, I will do it. But the reason why I'm on Restream is with the expectation that others may join me. And if they do, great. If not, that's fine. It's just a different overlay, and we'll have to go with it. As the MK Dons have a throw in on the right-hand side, deep in their territory, or deep in Stockport's territory. It feels as though MK Dons have a bit of an advantage early on. Cross went in, chested away, but it's down. Gilby forward, and beautiful touch, amazing save. Holy. That was Hinchcliffe, and I don't know who got that right-footed deflection, a one-touch sort of stab at the ball that ended up going to the left corner, and Hinchliffe had to get up there and reach, and he did. 36 and like a cat. Stab towards goal, the announcer said, and that absolutely works. Close there. Jeepers. So, yeah, there's going to be no shots update. Can't do that. It's largely just going to be us enjoying each other's company as we go through. 31 of us interested in this one as the MK Dons collect it in the background. And they're moving forward. Just like the e-bug. I actually think we have an emergency backup goaltender thing in ice hockey, if you weren't aware. If both goaltenders end up going down, then they have to bring the e-bug, who's just a goalkeeper who sits in the stand who could play for either side. That goalkeeper is a local person who plays for, junior B, plays for the university, not good enough to make the next level, but sits back. In one instance, it was the Zamboni driver who sometimes went out with the team and just acted as a backup goaltender during training. And he went out. And actually, he beat the club that pays him to do his job. MK Dons moving it down. Gilby couldn't get to it. It comes back to the center backs. I'm still fascinated if anybody has the scoop on this Tezgel kid who's 18, who's out there. I think that's the youngest I've seen in League Two. And just the fact that the MK Dons are going with him up front in such an important match is fascinating. There has to be something on the pitch that went on. Spins. We've got an opportunity here for the MK Dons. Tezgel moving in. Left-footed. Just misses on the left-hand side. And you know what? Credit to the young man. He goes to the right, two defenders with him, stops, puts on the brakes, comes around, gets a left-footer away, and just missed. Crazy. MK is looking good. Quite good. I'm going to be honest. Stockport's had two great chances, but you look at the momentum meter, and it's all MK Dons. Shots are 2-2, passing 64%. Both teams with two shots. MK with the only one on target. I'll have to update you more as we go through that one. After 90 minutes to follow this one, I'm hoping that doesn't upset the guys who are probably scrambling around doing their thing. I hope that they were able to read my mind. And I did tweet the after 90s yesterday, but we'll see. Come on, you Dons. We've got a Dons fan. Welcome to the show, and I hope you enjoy yourself. We're actually cheering for a draw, but if somebody was to win this one, I want the Dons to win. Do I want Stockport to win? I don't even know what I want. On a coin flip, an out-of-form Stockport or an MK Dons with one less game. Maybe that should be the poll question. If somebody had to win, let's put that up. MK Dons able to control it. Referee seeming letting them go early as Lofthouse kind of gets dumped over on the far side. Gets it over to Tomlinson. He's going to draw it back. Oh. He was playing advantage. He's going to give a free kick. That was Tomlinson who got dumped over. The Stockport player also down. Tomlinson gets dumped over. He's going to be a free kick here from 20 yards out, just outside the 18-yard box, pretty much right there. Add you to the horde. Welcome. Fascinating that your introduction is in a non-Wrexham match, but I will happily hit that subscribe button while you're there. Hit the like button so people know that we're here. Sort of a late addition to the whole thing. There was no long-standing build-up for this one, but welcome STF from Greece. I think we've already got Greece. I think that was one of the earlier ones, but always enjoy pulling those internationals. We've got two people lining up to take this. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the wall, covering off the area to the left of the keeper. Tomlinson and Kane standing over, having a look. Looking for Payne is the other one, looking from a distance. It looked like that wall was too far to the right-hand side. And if I'm that right footer, if I'm Tomlinson, I think I'm bending it over top of that. And he did try to go for it, but just went to the right. They're asking for a touch in a corner, but it's not going to be given. But that was the right call, was going for that right side around the corner. I thought that wall was a little bit too far over. I would have done it with the right footer bending rather than the left footer, but hey, called it. Hit the outside of the post, went wide, goal kick, and Stockport, after a deflection, is going to get it. For the throw-in on the outside, this one started at 10:30, or 10:15, sorry, 10:15. The Wrexham game started at 8. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I'm on my time zone. 3 p.m. kickoff for the Wrexham game, 5:30 for this one. And Stockport just not able to get through the midfield. That one just completely turned over. Start a poll. Ask a question. This one's more controversial because the draw is the easy answer. When you end up having to choose between Stockport and MK. Pangawayo-chan. I guess that's nice to meet you. I've already met you. Ski bum. Yeah, no game clock on this one. Sorry, guys. And if there are goals, it's going to take me some time to do the graphic update, and it just is what it is. But there's the controversy. Let's ask the poll question. If there has to be a winner, no draws, who is it? The Dons or Stockport County? Stockport County out of form. MK Dons in form. But we're chasing Stockport. They have games in hand, where MK Dons, after this one, we have a game in hand over them. So it's going to be what it'll be. You guys vote on it and see what you say. I'm curious to see what the outcome. I'll give you my thoughts on who I'd pick at the end of the vote. Nothing much happening as they battle back and forth. Shots are 3-2, 62% possession for the Dons 15 minutes in. Stockport's been direct, though they've had 2 shots. MK looking, and that offside flag goes up on the long ball. Oafe. Too far forward. See, that is a good poll. Because I lean one way, but it took me some time to be able to get there and feel confident with my decision. I'll tell you that much. So that's Stockport's manager, Challoner. I didn't hear the criticism, of exactly what he said, but MK Dons with it moving forward. Gilby, it's just, this is what it's been, is them sniffing around the box trying to find stuff. Long shot straight to Hinchcliffe. No, I'm going to say Hinchcliffe all night. Hinchcliffe. Straight to him, no threat. And that's just what it is. So, yeah, that mid-game, that's the reminder of the Crawley game, which was 1-1, which, you're away. I don't know if you warranted to be too critical. But you always wonder how people are going to respond. But Stockport, somewhat out of form. You go through their history. Draw with Crawley, draw with Salford City. They beat Newport at home. But if I recall correctly, that was a late goal. A draw with Swindon at home. A draw with Gillingham away. Got smashed by Tranmere. Got beat handily by Crewe. It's been a long run, which they're still in it largely because everybody else around them keeps losing. But they're running out of runway. Where the MK Dons, just in contrast, have largely been on. They've had a couple of odd step backs. They beat Crewe, but then they lost to Grimsby 1-0 on the road. They beat Salford City. They beat Mansfield. They lost to Wimbledon. So they're mostly on a run. They've probably got the best form out of anybody out of the top 5. to be fair, as the rain increases, and that is pouring down. No, and thank you, Andrew, for getting that. We've got the game in hand. I mean, technically we're equal now. Oh no, there's still one game. They've got their one game coming up where they're going to be playing. Stockport's got the extra game. They play the Notts County, where for MK Dons they're missing a game, and I can't remember what week it is off the top of my head. It's on my graphic, and I'd have to pull it up, and we can do that. But it's right there. Here's a shot opportunity, blocked. Tomlinson misses twice. Bate knocks it down, gets it back over. Tomlinson just not able to connect there. Gilby back over into Bate, 18-yard box, back heel. Went to go and take a shot, but couldn't, was paying, and then he finally lifts it over. MK Dons stirring the drink, just not able to get it there. And Hinchliffe has had the answers when asked, but he wasn't asked that time. That time the defense able to step up. It was a great ball in, and you would have thought he took it first, right-footed. It was blocked, and then he gets it back, and he's not able to do anything. Tomlinson probably would have wanted to do more there, because that was a good 30-second storm that they were able to get over. I agree that that game looming large, 6-pointer at home, could set ourselves up really nicely, and conversely could end up causing ourselves a real mess if we go the wrong way, right? Stockport with it now. That he's pulled down. Is there going to be a card for that? Free kick. Next week, Crew against Gillingham. The Dons have Walsall. We have Mansfield Town. Stockport gets the first of the Forest Green run, and then obviously Mansfield will have us. So other than the MK Dons Walsall match, which will be Walsall solid and can be Jekyll and Hyde sort of and turn up for any sort of game, and that's in Walsall, will be a tough one. You'd think Crew and Stockport will be licking their chops at being able to score points away on that one. And so the question becomes, how do we do, and what's going to happen at the top with Mansfield? It's a fascinating time right now. Kelly with it, long ball, thumped down the field, knocked down by Horsefall, and it's going to end up being collected there by Madden, who's all the way back to give to Hinchliffe. Hinchliffe, long ball up over top, headed away, and it's down, headed back and forth in the midfield, and it's going to land on a defender for the MK Dons. That looked like Wern, and he gets it forward. Or sorry, it looked like Harvey, and he got it up for Wern. Lofthouse, did he keep that one in? Goes out of play. Stockport's getting a throw. Nobody likes it. 42 of you already. See, how fascinating is that? That's a quarter of the people that were interested in in watching the Wrexham game who have joined us here. Some of them may be Dons fans. And hi, if you're here, hit the like button. Pitch in, come and join us and have a chat if you wish. More than happy to enjoy the mob that's here. Well, MK certainly has, after the Walsall game, they've got Notts, Forest Green, then they have Mansfield as well. And then their last two games, though, are delicious if you're the Dons. You're looking at Harrogate away and Sutton United at home. You compare those to the other matchups. Crew has us at home and then Colchester away. We've got Crew and Stockport. Let's get points now, please. And Stockport's got Accrington and then us, and then Mansfield's got Gillingham and Barrow. So want to secure these points when you can. The Forest Green run starting next week. And we've got Donny, Colchester, and Forest Green still yet to come, as well as a fairly tough match against Crawley, who's been hit or miss. Stockport throw in, left-hand side, looks to be perpendicular with the 18-yard box. He's calling bodies forward. Looking for a long throw into the box. Nowhere close. Knocked away, collected there by Kane. Kane chips it, headed away. Kane gets it back. No, he doesn't. He misses it, and so the MK Dons have it. Body pulled down. I think that was more of a fall by Gilby. If the flop counter was running, Brendan, that would be the first touch. Great tackle, but it lands over on Tomlinson. He's been everywhere, at least positionally. And it's cleared away. MK Dons, more possession. O'Hara. Good collection on that rough pass, and Bate and then knocks it back, and it ends up on the foot of Harvey. Harvey into the box, cleared away. And Stockport, he's way offside. Flag goes up. Oluwafe, with the most obvious offside of the season, looked back in disgust. Now he's giving the smiley thumbs up as he was. Well, you know what? It was closer than I thought. High line, and the defender was static. It was maybe only 6 inches, but he was way to the races if that would have gone. Tomlinson. That one's he's not. I don't know if he's offside. I'd like to see that one, because that was, who was the defender over on that left-hand side? Is that Pye? I think Pye might have put him on. He was certainly behind the other two. Ooh, no, Pye was able to get up. I will stand corrected. That was offside. I thought Pye had put him on, and he finished it and put it up over top, but the whistle had gone. Gilby going offside. As that one found the back of the net, but no love. Not an MK win. All right. Everybody's looking at Stockport's run of form and saying don't want it, even though they've got that extra game in hand against Notts County that they'll be playing by themselves on the 16th. No other important games that day. That's where they have their makeup day. The Stockport fumble the ball, Oluwafe, but he's able to wrestle it back. Well done. And that was Powell who had the initial mix-up. Gets it back to Kane. It's drawn all the way back to Hinchliffe. And here we go. Right-footed, long ball, up deep over top. Knocked down it. Wooten. Got that one down, gets it over to the left. Toure has it. He slips to ground. And it goes to MK. I don't know what that call was, really, to be entirely fair. It looked like everybody just stopped playing and left it up to the referee to make a call as to who he was going to give it to. So he gave it to MK on the throw-in. Straight up 50-50 on the Stockport now at 52. Fascinating poll question. That's maybe the best one as far as having you guys stirring, trying to figure out the answer. Tomlinson left-hand side. MK Dons continuing to move forward with it. He did draw it over to Harvey, but Harvey not able to find anything, so it's all the way back to Bate, who's filling in the center backs and drawn back even further. Harvey now with it. Left-hand side. Has Tomlinson moved forward. Oh, that was in the back and through the back. I thought that would have at least been a foul because that was played through his legs at the back, even though no yellow card. Bate with it to Tomlinson. MK Dons just owning possession all the way through this thing. 56%. It feels like more. Expected goals are 0.66 to 0.03. Why? 7 shots already. 26 minutes in for the MK Dons. 2 of them on target. Kelly thumping it down the field. And it's collected by Stockport, and they give it back to Hinchliffe, who just returns the favor the other way, and he puts it out of play, and the MK Dons get more possession from that throw-in. And I'm curious, Ruby, I think we were talking about the Wales game on Tuesday. That's on VIX, VIX, which I've never heard of. It's in the U.S. It's not available in Canada. But it is, or if it is, it might be on DAZN. I'll have to check. But being on VIX, it's free with Prime, potentially, as I understood it. So worth checking there. There is a free trial if anybody wants to watch that Wales Poland game. You can get VIX for 7 days, and then remember to shut it down. I thought the same thing and didn't say it. The other thing is when it's a televised game, you get all these zoom in shots. It's sexy. I want more Wrexham on TV, please. Not that it's not the players are sexy, but the game, the zooming in, the options. As Bates has it, I'll just focus on the game. I don't know what I'm talking. Harvey loops it in, but it's collected and going to be cleared here as it's left to Hinchliffe to thump it down the park. Yeah, I wonder if I can get that. I'll have to pick that one up. I get geo-blocked by S4C at times, so. Oh, so it is, yeah, it's the free trial, and then you have to pay. Were you already a Prime customer? Because I don't know. I just like to know for the U.S. fans, because there's so many of you comparatively to us minnows up in Canada. I do have one, and I guess I could use my VPN. I paid for one earlier in the season. I think I've used it twice. The problem is it doesn't always work very well for me. Just got to do what's more popular in the UK and get one of those dodgy boxes, the dodgy Fire Stick. Okay, so it is going to be costing somebody. I think it's $6.99 US a month, but I'll look into it. As Oluwafe ends up nicking that one deep in the far corner, but then it's lost. The Bronx cheer goes out for Lemonade Evans as he just lost that one after some impeccable work by Oluwafe to steal position in a threatening spot. And then Evans just coughs it up and gives MK Dons a throw in from deep in their area. Yeah, I did. I set it up for, and I'm paying for it so I can choose different locations in the UK. And it just hasn't really worked for me as of yet. But I will give it a shot if I'm not able to find a Canadian stream and a Canadian source for that Welsh-Poland match. And watching this one's exciting, cheering for a draw, but I'm now looking at the clock for 1 o'clock. Could I have the perfect day? Could I have Mansfield lose points, Wrexham gain 3, Stockport MK Dons with a draw, lose, each, whoa, coughed up. That's an error and it's going to go in. What a massive, massive error by the MK Dons goalkeeper Kelly, away from the goal. No threat, no challenge, and he just, in the rain, bloop, out of his arms, and it ends up landing onto didn't even know who scored the goal here. It's going to come up in a moment. Let's watch this, and then I'll have to update the score, and it'll take some process and some time. Not offside. It ends up moving forward. And that was Camps who put it forward, couldn't hold it, and Camps gets it back, just squirts out. 1-0 Stockport. Yeah, Kelly's got to do better than that. Just gave it up and it's just rolled, the slow dribble roll in. Camps had his head up, and all of a sudden he goes, he's doing the oh no, and then the ball lands on his feet, and he just turns and plops it into the net. What a nightmare for Kelly, who's looking in absolute disgust. We're at the 20th minute, and I'm going to have to do an update on the scoreboard here. Oh, and I think I stuffed that up I don't think I can edit within the body, so this might be even extra trouble. Man, that's frustrating. I would lose my ever-loving mind if that was... Yeah, I've got to do this the long way. Bear with me as we... This is why I can't use Restream. So he has it right-footed, goes over to his right, blocks it, and then he just slides past it and leaves the ball right there for Camps to pick up and pot. What in the bloody hell was that? Oh, on, it went transparent. Well, whatever. Let's just go with it. I apologize if this is going to be a bit of a mess, but we will figure it out. And you guys can tell me if you don't mind it, and that's fine to know as well. It's an answer, and two opportunities. Tomlinson gets stopped short order by Hinchliffe, and he's not able to get it in. Bounces over to Gilby, who's got the volley, and he gets overexcited, and he pumps it to the left. MK Dons all the pressure, all the magic so far. 61% possession, 7 shots, now even more, and just not able to do anything with it. What a massive, massive opportunity that was. MK Dons fans, players, coaches, support, going to all be frustrated with how this one's been going so far. Because finally I can draw in and look to upload this one and get the score up. Need the Benny Hill soundtrack. Absolutely. And the thing is on the other side of Kelly, Hinchliffe is playing absolutely phenomenal. He's collected balls. He's already made a couple of big stops. And that was one that was largely positional. He came out on Tomlinson and took away the whole angle and just easy save. And then that one ends up going wide. So just fascinating stuff. Five people lost. There's the update, the score. Sorry, guys, it went without the black border. And if you guys care, well, I can try to replace it. Just a bit of a pain in the butt because it didn't work, but that's fine with me. Got to work on my sound effects. Well, now we are all. I mean, I guess the good news is we all get to cheer for MK Dons. We've picked a side now with Stockport going forward, so that always makes it a little bit easier to do. I don't have a dry marker, Dale. It's the one criticism I have of Restream is the graphics you can't make live and you can't add text with the design components. I mean, I guess I might be able to steal it. No, I can't do that either. Madden, it's 2-0. Madden ends up stealing that, draws it over to the left. Stockport County laying the beat down. MK Dons dominating the entirety of the match. Hinchliffe holding the minute, and Stockport finds their feet. And my word, the Hatters. So this is a long thump of a ball up, looping over top that Oloafe, no, that's, sorry, not Oloafe, that was Wooten ends up getting it, knocks it forward. They gain possession and just scoops that forward up to Madden, who runs it forward. Just a missed touch there by Bates for the giveaway. And it's just stabbed forward and nobody back. Horrible defense, horrible positioning, and a mistake by Bates. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's difficult to predict, but it does. It could distance us. You know, it's going to distance us from the Dons, and it secures us in there. But it leaves us as the team that everybody's chasing. What do you want? How do you want it? I don't know if there's a preference one way or the other. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to do this. We're going to end up without the black in the background. And that's just the way it's going to be because it's just easier to update this way as I learn how to do things live and on the fly the old-fashioned way. I don't like it. I like my OBS. Wrong way. Because this is just unreasonable delay between being able to enjoy the whole process. Stockport with it, left side. Going to be, and to be fair, even though it's near the end of the first half, I wouldn't say the Dons are out of this by any stretch of the imagination with how they've been playing. As Powell gets stepped on, no card, and we've got Payne's given. Is he getting the card? Getting a talking to? The sell job is on this one. Oh, and he is going to go for the card. See, I hate that. You're going for the card early, at least signaling that you're doing that. Due to accumulation, so not necessarily that play. I don't think there's. I mean, he caught him, but he didn't. Whoops. I had it when I lost it. 2-0. So, on the restart, Kane thumping it down the middle of the pitch, headed forward, headed back, and now everybody's up, bouncing around the head, and it's going to land on the MK Dons' feet. And that was Payne advancing it forward, fall to ground. Wooten going to ground there, and they give the free kick. I'm surprised at that. I thought he sold that and just fell on the ball, but the MK players agree with me in any event. See, that's fascinating. It must be your signal just where you're at listening to this. I'm loving watching this on DAZN and televised. It's 100 times better than I follow. Would love to have those. Stockport's in the box, bouncing it around with an opportunity, and it's finally cleared for everything that the MK Dons have been able to do, stirring the drink up front and trying to get things in and Hinchliffe having the answer. They look really, really bad in the back line right now. And I don't recall that from our game with them. I thought that was one of their strengths. So good on Stockport, maybe a little bit of luck and fortuitous activity. And Thomas, I am absolutely with you. It doesn't matter where Wrexham lands in the top three. It just means that you get there. Stockport helps. It pushes the fourth team down. I absolutely get that logic. The concern that I have is that Stockport has a game in hand, and they've got a little bit of an easier schedule, one would argue. The MK Dons, they've got Forest Green, Wimbledon's. Their toughest match remaining is us at the end. They have one game against Wimbledon that's tough, but then they've got Sutton, Colchester, Morecambe, Notts, and Accrington. That's a scary run. When you look at MK Dons, one last game, and they've got Walsall. That's fairly tough. Notts and FJR, those are easy. But then they've got Mansfield before they finish with Harrogate and Sutton. Even though MK's in better form, their season run-in is a little bit tougher. So at the end of the day, we win. We control our destiny. Let's worry about that. But if you're looking for people to help, I don't know. Stockport's been so out of form that I just like them to end up falling out. Don't count Colchester out. And absolutely, FGR, Colchester, they're all fighting to stay in the league, in the EFL. I can't believe this is my fifth half of, I guess not true. I slept through the first half of the Mansfield game. My fourth half of football. Brendan, how are you feeling in your fifth? More losses, but that correspondingly means more wins, right? Yeah, well, we'll have the gap. It'll be 3 games, and we'll have a game in hand. So, things are rosy that way. Stockport will have a point on us and a game in hand. But they're also struggling. We do eke closer to Mansfield. So, you know what? Let's make it a 3-horse race. If this is how this is going to be, at the start of the game, I would have taken a Stockport. I would have taken an MK Dons win if I had to choose. We had the poll question that was up there. I would have taken an MK Dons win. I know that puts promotion a little bit more into jeopardy in the immediate, but looking at the schedule and the form, I just thought MK Dons is the threat and not Stockport. But give them credit. Well, and let's put them in the playoffs. See how it goes, right, Kim? Are they going to be able to win 2 in a row and have impeccable form? You've got to call that. That's got to be a yellow too, because that's an egregious hold. And yes, that is yellow. Come here. Come here. The referee's yelling, no, he's not bad. Come here. Kane gets a yellow for Stockport. That wasn't just a hold. That was a maul. Like, he's got him two-handed, pulling him in the back. And you know what? Good on Gilby. He does what you're supposed to do and just puts his head down and tries to run through it and can't. There's no flop. There's no sell job. He earned that by putting his head down and driving. Unless you think that the MK Dons, with their schedule and them being on form, are going to be able to catch us if we end up having to stumble. And I think that that's true. I think that the MK Dons has the ability to catch us more than Stockport holding on over the next 7-8 games, depending on which team we're talking about here. So, you know, I am now a Stockport fan in if they end up playing in a 6-pointer. I don't think they have any left, do they? Mansfield? Just us. Just us after this one for them on the 6-pointers. And W&G, if you're here, I do have to apologize. I didn't get that graphic out after the update, but I'll fix that up today, hopefully. 5 games in 2.5 days in 5 countries. That's an impressive run. I'm assuming that some of those countries included those within the UK and Ireland. Worrying is the word. I'll tell you, that next game sets us up. We have 4 manageable games after Mansfield on Friday. Man, I'd love to be at that game. That was the game I was supposed to go to, but I won't be there. Stockport, two extra minutes. That's all they've got. That's up to Oloafe, and the defender goes down. Is it 3? It's going to be 3. 3. Oloafe, what is their back line doing? Are they this bad? Like, I don't recall the Dons having such an atrocious back line. 3-0. It's been 50-50 once Stockport figured it out and pushed forward. But long ball moved forward. The back line runs forward. Oloafe, he's offside. No, he's not. That was the other guy. No, that was just horribly defended. The high line, that was Harvey. Just stuffed it. If you look at their form, Stockport has been struggling mightily since January. I'll bring up the away table in a second to have a look at it, just to give you the contrast. But no more goals, please. I don't want to have to update the scoreboard anymore. Oops. Unreal. And is that the whistle for halftime? So when we get to the half, I'll update or look at the away form. But MK Dons has a mountain to climb now. 3-0. I imagine people are going to be like, I'll come back to this one later, but I'm hoping you stick with me, or at least you hit the subscribe button or the like button when you leave. I'm not encouraging you to go, as we all dial into this one and see what MK can do at the half. And then we'll join the after 90 minutes and hope that everybody's able to join us. Has had an opportunity to get around, but easily cleared by Stockport. And here's Harvey. Harvey with the mistake, Bates with the mistake, Kelly with the mistake. And in all three instances, they were absolutely punished by Stockport. And there's the halftime whistle, as I finally am going to be able to get the score up, and then we'll look at that away table just to see what the form is there. My word, not what I anticipated in this one at all, to go to the half. Both Stockport and Wrexham up 3-0 at the half. Freaking fascinating. Freaking fascinating. And you know what? You look at the table and you say, that's not bad. That's not bad. FB Ref League 2 stats. Looking at the home and away, and you pull the points for the home and away. I saved this as a screenshot, so let's see if I can pull that up rather than have to search. It's going to be the easiest way to find it. In the last 10 games, Mansfield's the top team with 21 points. MK Dons second with 19. And then you go back to Stockport, who is seventh at 16 points. And you go through their, you're worrying about, you've got to have one team that's left. MK Dons over 10, three-point advantage. Maybe not that significant, but you look at the run that Stockport has been in, and just not impressive with respect to their scores. Right, they drew Crawley away. That's not bad, but then they drew Salford City away. Would expect more there. They beat Newport. That's not bad, but then their mess. Draw Swindon at home. Draw Gillingham away. Bashed by Tranmere 4-0 away. Bashed by Crewe 3-1 at home, and then they had a win over Grimsby, a draw against Harrogate. They've been on a bit of bad form since really the middle to end of January. And I just thought there's an opportunity here that they're the team that ends up falling out. Stockport shutting me up, as it were. And I'm sure their fans will be happy to remind me of that. Lipstick on my forehead. Sacrifice needed. I hope not. Another mistake, Dale. I haven't looked at let me grab the stats here. So it was Camps with the first goal off of the Kelly mistake. It was Madden with the second goal off of the Bate mistake. And it was Oloafe with the third goal off of the Harvey mistake. Just to replay those ones as far as the mistakes are concerned. On the first one, that was Kelly, the goalkeeper, easy save, has it in his hands. He slides past the ball. Camps already has his head up because he missed his opportunity. And Kelly just leaves the ball behind. It lands right on the foot of Camps and goes, oh, God, okay. And just that slow little Adam Sandler, just tap it in. Just tap it in. Give it a little tapping, tap, tap. And he does that. Taps it in, slow roller, middle of the net, nobody there. It's 1-0. Second mistake was Bate, midfielder, who just outside of his boot on an attempted clear or way of advancing the ball forward. And he gives it right to a Stockport player who just gives it to Madden. Madden runs free. Nobody there to stop him. He just goes all the way forward and pots it. Easy, simple as. And then the third one was Harvey, the defender. A long searching ball over top. Really no threat. Easy for the center backs to get there. He slips, falls, bumbles it, and Oloafe collects it, and he's only got one man to beat, and that's Kelly. And the Dons fall apart, which I think a lot of people, Franchise FC, you'd be celebrating. So that's where they're at. The Dons certainly came out, and even I'll bring up the FOTMOP stats. 61% possession, 9 shots. They outshot them 9-5. Shots on target are equal, but it's the difference is those big chances, and all 3 big chances came off of Stockport mistakes. So, and I'm going to go to Fubo and One Soccer because I've got to reconnect my thing so that 1 o'clock, 2 hours from now, I'm able to watch the Trinidad match. With Canada. Big favorites. Copa America berth on the line. I got to read this one. I'm full. Andrew says, Spurs Liverpool Saturday lunchtime. Over to Paris for PSG Monaco on a Saturday night. Stay in Paris. Train to Belgium for Anderlecht and Standard Liège. And the train to Eindhoven for PSV and Utrecht on Sunday. That's what you did? That's impressive because those are all big clubs and exciting matches. Not going to happen for me unless I'm taking planes because Vancouver MLS. I mean, do you count the CPL? But I've got 2 countries. For me to hit 3 countries and to do it by car or by train, there'd just be no way because I'd have to go MLS, Vancouver, down the West Coast, hope that Seattle or Portland or LAFC, LA Galaxy have games, and then get down into Mexico and watch a game. I'm just outside of Vancouver, basically in Vancouver metro area. So sign in with Fubo, see if they tell me $14.99 a month. Do I want to pay that? Or what's One Soccer going to cost me? $12.99 a month. But Fubo gives me more. Ugh. Fubo it is. How did Chesterfield do today? Does anybody care? $3-0 over Boreham Wood. Does that secure them the return to the Football League? And I do have a little bit of love for Chesterfield. I only say that because my brother-in-law was a keeper there for a couple of years. Promotion confirmed, title confirmed. Chesterfield on its way up to the Football League. Good stuff. Matt, I sent you the link if you wanted to join in and watch this one together. If not, the After 90 to follow. Or man, we've got a lot to talk about. But I probably won't be able to stay on for the whole thing because I've got a lunch and my family's here and all that sort of fun stuff. And I'll have to take a break at some point, but I will be lurking in the background for that whole one. And I had the question about somebody's away form and who was that? Or away, their run-in. Did I see that? Stockport remaining pictures. Oh, and fixtures. Andrew's spelling them out for everybody. So, yeah, they've got really their 2 big games, Wimbledon and us. Other than that, they've got Sutton, who's been fighting, and Colchester, who's fighting, and Morecambe. It'll be interesting to see what those Morecambe, Notts, and Accrington games are as to whether those 3 teams are in the hunt for the playoffs. And they're working at it, or not. I taught for 4.5 years, and one half year I was a student at Seoul National University in their law department. I went over as an exchange student 2.5 years after I left. Wrote my LSAT in Gangnam, or not in Gangnam. I wrote it at Ewade and Yonsei, and then got into law school, and so that's what I do now. So yeah, I taught at a Hagwon in near the Opal Pal. Do I explain what the Opal Pal is to people? Maybe not. The red light district, and then left there and lived in Gangnam style. Had a blast. I have all the time in the world for Korea. I was actually considering before taking this gig with the law firm of potentially returning back to Korea. W&G says best bet is Barnet to be the second promoted team. Let's go back to the National League table and have a look, because I'll be honest, I haven't really been sniffing about. Is there anybody sneaking in with crazy form at the end? Because you always end up thinking, and I guess that'd be Halifax. They win again today, so they beat Chesterfield 4-2, and then they were postponed today with Ebbsfleet. And so they're sitting, and I guess they have the double promotion. 2 and 3 get the bye, and so Barnet and Bromley looking to do that. Halifax is in there, and you know what? That's scary. Aldershot's got points in 4 out of 5. Barnet with 4 wins and 5. So on form, those are the 3 teams that are sort of sniffing around, and nobody really behind them. Rochdale, maybe. Rochdale, the team I saw in a 5-1 drubbing by Doncaster back in, what was that, 2019? Yeah. I won't, but I do have a story about walking through there to go shopping that was fascinating. It was an interesting place to reside. Yeah, and that's what I was saying is Andrew, is they've got 3 of their last 4 games, the 3 leading up to us, Morecambe, Notts, and Accrington. I don't think that they will be in the hunt at that point in time. Let's look at the playoffs after today's games. Barrow ends up securing. So Crew and Barrow still sniffing around, and Barrow has a game in hand. 2 games on the Dons to try to draw in. All told, if they were to take 6 points, they'd end up at 70. And overpass the Dons, they'd only end up, we'd have a game to play in that mix as well. But you're looking at who's filling into the 7th spot, I would say. Barrow, Crew, and one of those top 4 that are fighting through are going to fill those other spots. And so you've got Crawley, Gillingham, Wimbledon, all 1 point apart, Walsall with games at hand. And then the question is, by the time we get there, Accrington Stanley, they're 9 points out of the spot. Are they going to be out of it? Is Notts County going to be out of it? Because then those are games that mean absolutely squat. It'd be interesting if top 4 in League 2 go up. Would they make a mess of the League 1 teams? No. The jump from the National League, because you can build your club up and then end up your one team, means you dominate that group. You usually find the teams that come up from the National League up into League 2 typically do fairly well. Like a quarter of them end up getting promoted again. You don't see that. Nobody's done the run of 3, National League, League 2, League 1 up into that's just bonkers. And next season, the entirety of the goal for me is to finish 20th or better. Just stay in the league, stay in League 1, because there are teams at the top. I mean, you look at it, who's in the championship coming down, who's going to be sticking around. I mean, I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but you've asked the question, so I'll go through it. Sheffield Wednesday, big club, big stadium, lots of support. Rotherham, Huddersfield's there. Birmingham may end up coming down. They've been just ugly for the entirety of the second half. The wheels have fallen off. I'd actually suggest they're probably more likely to come down than Huddersfield is. I do like Huddersfield's location, just for my ability to get to a game, given the base being in Doncaster more than other teams around. Easier to get to Leeds and down to Birmingham, I guess. And then you look at the League 1 table. There are weaker clubs. Like, we've seen Shrewsbury. We know what they have to offer. We've seen Port Vale. We know what they have to offer. But they're closer to the bottom, right? But you look, Cambridge was recently promoted. They'll still be there. We've seen Burton. Like, I see us as a team that fits in that bottom sort of 13th to 20th spots, but you get to the top where you've got Leyton Orient proving that promoted teams can do well. Stevenage doing the same. They can get close. But you got Barnsley, Peterborough, Bolton, Derby County, and Portsmouth, all that are up at the top. There's some solid teams there. We're looking to tie a knot in the rope, hold on, stick in, build the team, build the academy, take 2-3 years probably just on the sustainability side before we get to the championship, and hopefully that's the goal, and we can then see what happens from there. If you pull a Luton Town, great, but let's be honest, that's an anomaly, and with the money that's involved, Wrexham's going to, the boys, Rob and Ryan, will probably need some help as we're underway second half, as MK is going to try and draw in on this and get something. Just reading that. No, I think it's championships where it gets ungodly. I mean, you can pull one thing that's out there. There's a website called Capology, and this is what I was looking at because one of the tweets I put out there was about why aren't English player salaries out there? And there's actually somebody with some knowledge who's responded, and I've got to go through his next tweets about the collective bargaining stuff and the desire of the English to consider it a private citizen's information. In North America, we get all that information, and it happens in a couple of other leagues in Europe. But Capology has what the League One salaries are as a league. It's £109,000 for 664 players. That's an average of $164,000 a year. You go to League Two, remember that number, 164,860, and you go to League Two, and you're at 107,000 is the average. So it's a bump, but it's not a ridiculous bump, because once you get up to the championship, and we're talking average salary again, remember the number 107,000 is an average salary in League Two, 167 in League One, and I can't load up the championship. Here it is. 657,000 per player. So there's your jump. So League One is about setting your boots into the ground and getting stuck in so that you're ready for that. I'm leaving that one to the grandparents. It's been a lazy day, and I'm going to have to make up for it later. Is MK Dons Bates looking to move it forward, still inside their zone. Stockport came out to start the first half. Stockport going right to left on your screen if you're just listening. MK Dons from left to right if you're listening. 45 minutes away from the after 90 minutes, which I'll be on for a little bit, and then looking to jump off quickly because I've got me a big game to scream and yell at, as well as that Wrexham game. I won't be watch partying it. I'll just be enjoying it as a fan, Canada and Trinidad. And I think it's not just the business opportunities. My belief is that F1 Alpine thing that they've been doing is to help and facilitate when they get to championship and they build their core and they've got all of the infrastructure in place and they want to make a push and say, this is a year we're going to make a push. They're able to go and pull on some people for some equity and make a run for the Premier League. But they're going to need some help to get there, I would assume. But I see a path. Do I think it's going to be 9-10 years like Luton Town? I mean, that was ungodly and a little bit of luck. And I don't think that should be the goal. That would be a miracle if it happened to hit the Premier League in 10 years, I think. But do I see Premier League on Wrexham's horizon if Rob and Ryan right the ship and maintain it and it grows and the fans are still into it? Yes. It is a mess, but the connections are there. I'm not worried about the operations. I'm worried about the people who got the capital to back. And they're making those connections, right? So it's a fascinating topic, Dale. One that North Americans go for, one that Australians will go for. They've got soft caps, whether it's a soft cap or a hard cap. The thing that doesn't make sense to me about football, and you see it again this year, is Leicester doesn't even file their documents. Like, you don't do that in North America. You don't play. Your team's done. Like, they won't even do a point deduction. They'll just say stuff you. There's massive penalties, but hard caps, soft caps, and the players' unions or the players might not end up going for it. But when I sit there and look at player salaries out earning what football can generate, how do you maintain that as a sustainable enterprise going forward? You're basically relying on top-ups for 90 of 92 EFL teams of some capacity. That's ugly. It's not a good model. But that's for a different day. Maybe I have that debate with some people and I get learned and have that discussion. I've heard of GSEs and A levels, but I never took it, so I don't know. I think my wife talking about her A levels and her GCSEs. It's all Greek to me. Back in my days when I was old, we had a recommend system. I didn't even have to write my finals. I just took my grade, walked into university and said, thanks. Well, there is, and not only do you have to have like a category, I think they'll let you have a category 2 academy in the Premier League, but you have to have the category and the field in place. Oh, 4-0. That was not a mistake. That was beautiful. That was Evans as Stockport laying the boots to the MK Dons. Somebody wanting to assert themselves, and 2 teams stepped up today, Wrexham and Stockport. Stockport just screwing with me because it takes me so long to update everything, although I'm getting a little bit faster with the model. Just into the box. Toure sent it back. Nobody gets it in the box, and it just sits there laid up, and it's an easy boot. And that was 21 again who missed the touch. There was a deflection there. There was an opportunity to clear, and that was on Harvey again with the mistake. So I'll take it back. I think he would have loved to have been able to get a boot on the ball, but it doesn't, and it's 4-0. Yikes! And if you were the MK Dons fans, curse you, but then also you've got to be frustrated with this outcome and this performance. MK Dons fans already heading for the exits. Yikes. And they're searching for 5. Madden with it, no defender walking in. Oh, saved and off the post. Just adding salt into the wounds and looking for solidifying themselves with the goal differential. Kelly bangs that off of somebody and off of a defender. It's a turnover, and Madden gets that shot. It just doesn't go in. It's all Stockport all day. As we sit at 4-0. 37 people starting to disappear on this one. I can kind of understand why, to be completely fair. Well, they certainly were at the start. They went through some injuries. I don't know who's come back, but I can appreciate that statement that they've had some proven capacity this year for sure. And then it was that January started to get the injury bug that bit them. Just insanity right now. Absolute insanity as we're looking towards the after 90 minutes, and I can see Matt's there, Racecourse Ramble. The links are out there. I hope me changing the time didn't change the links. I'll have to check that. Maybe I should do that now before we get going, because I bumped the time back. I'm hoping that little change didn't change the links. Let's do invite and see. CQOS. Stockport fans obviously singing in abundance as MK working from the back, trying to find something. 54th minute, you're down 4-0. You're on the road, but you're chasing down an opportunity to get promoted. I don't think you give up by any stretch of the imagination, but man, their back line just failed clears all over the place. And I think it did change the link, so I'm going to have to send that out and apologize to everybody that's been maybe publishing it. Oh, no, it's the same. Yeah, it's the same. Good stuff. No changes there. So we'll be on for the after 90 minutes, and that'll be an opportunity for you guys to come and join us. Talking about the madness it was for at least a period of time as it's played back to the goalkeepers and it gets the Bronx cheer. MK Dons moving forward. Out wide. Lufthaus puts it in, easily cleared. Grabbed. And that's kicked way out, and that's going to be a throw in as the MK Dons O'Hara goes over to collect it. Throws it back to Kelly and says, let's get this ball moving forward. I don't feel anything bad about it. That whole mind the gap stuff that Notts County's own kept putting out was annoying the piss out of me. So I'm glad that they can eat it. There are some great fans of Notts, let's be honest. And they will be a nice chapter in our story. But I think that chapter is about to close. I'm hoping. We can meet them in an FA Cup match when we're up in the championship. That'd be fun. Bite my tongue, I know. MK Dons just scrambled in the back. My God, it's so nervy. That was Williams with the lazy pass over and then just the lazy head up there that's going to go into a Stockport County boot, and he's offside, so nobody's going to grab it, how off it was. Just the back line giving no confidence at all. Well, yeah, no history, right? MK Dons looking to make some subs. So that's Williams coming out, one of the center backs. And that's going to be Cameron Norman coming in, one of their experienced guys. Coach is going to have some questions to ask for because Norman not being in the starting lineup, I'm wondering how many minutes he's had. 2,567 minutes. He's started 29 of 34 games, and he came off the bench for this one. Bold move. You go with Tezgel up front, and Tezgel ends up coming out. Then you're going to bring in Max Dean. Max Dean tied for your leading scorer, and he's coming off of your bench. That's a bold move by just looking at the subs and having a comparison to I know he's only had 9 goals, Max Dean has. But you've got Gilby up there, that's your other leading scorer, and it's a long drop-off after that to Tomlinson. Bold, experienced guys that you're leaving on the bench, and you're just putting them out now. Can't help looking at that table, right? I mean, there's a gap. I don't want to have to lose it, but there's a gap. 3 points in a game in hand. Crew is 5 points back now. Barrow's 6 points back, but they've got a game in hand. And then it falls off after that. You've got sort of 2 groups of 3 now, potentially. Do I dare reduce my graphic I was doing from 5 teams to 4? Because how do I exclude Barrow now? Because arguably Barrow's got better chance of getting into it than Crew does after 3 losses and a draw in their last 5. Crew just banana peeling their way out of the season. Barrow on the inverse, 3 wins and 2 draws, undefeated in at least 5. Beat Newport, drew Harrogate, drew Walsall, beat Colchester, beat Gillingham, lost to Salford City. Barrow's running, by the way, Grimsby Town, Morecambe, Swindon, Bradford, Gillingham, Crawley, Donny, and then Mansfield Town at the end. So, Barrow's taken care of a lot of their last couple of games. And long may it continue, Kim, right? 4-0, 60th minute, sort of just running through the clock as Oluwafe is going to be coming off. Is that Oluwafe or Camps? It's a water break as Powell is down on the ground for Stockport. Is that a good reaction? Did you get what you wanted? I don't know. Is he subbing off? Powell with the injury, give him a bit of a breather and let him have his. Nick Powell, we can talk about him. I haven't looked up his numbers because obviously there were rumors that he was potential to come to us, and you see him lying on the ground. How many? I'm on Stockport, not on the MK Dons. Or sorry, Stockport. I'm on the MK Dons, not Stockport. Because I'm curious how many minutes. I haven't looked it up as to how many minutes he's actually had. (1,184 minutes, 2 goals, 1 assist. That's not really that impressive of a season, to be fair. Not for the money that was going out there. We're discussed about it. And with the comment, when a small girl wears her mother's giant shoes on her tiny feet, that's what the MK Dons look like in that daft stadium up there. 38,000, is that what their capacity is? And they're getting maybe a quarter of that full. Just keep the top closed the entire time and try to fill the bottom and not even get there. I get it. Man, I would hate to be. Who is the MK Dons manager right now? Because that was a bold call. I don't even think that. I wouldn't have the guts to make that call. You're going into one of the biggest games of the season, a 6-pointer. You're on a rush. You're pushing forward, and you go with the young Tesgel up front, and you put Norman on your bench. So your leading scorers on the bench. Mike Williamson. Harrison misses. Has an opportunity to draw that one in for MK Dons. First big chance. Right foot across from the right side. Gets there headed and just, you'd expect better. Open space, no challenge. Hinchcliffe stuck on his feet, and he just puts it 6 feet, 8 feet wide to the right. And I think that's why everybody calls him Franchise FC, right? They had to have known better. I mean, liken it to somebody going up when Chester was folding and purchasing them and moving them to Wrexham and saying, we're going to build a club here. Huh? Maybe a little bit too close. Go with Newport. It's not the right idea. Norman, yeah. And that's going to be got let off there with a throw. Just there, even Norman, the sub that came in to help out in the center backs, a little nervous touch there, tries to get around, can't do it. I'll tell you what, after 90 minutes, I'm going to need some food. Either that or I grab the nachos here and stuff my face, and you guys get to hear me chew for the next 20 minutes. So gets around Madden, but the touch was too far forward, so he has to try and scoop it away from Oluwafe. Instead, he bangs it off of him. He's fortunate he ekes out the throw. And the MK Dons with the time a ticking. Yeah, no, Andrew, I absolutely get that, and unfortunately, we're playing teams that all have something to play for. Really, maybe I should create the nothing to play for graphic. People will disagree with my take on nothing to play for and whether people think that they're in or out. But you look at we've got bottom of the table teams, but they're fighting, right? Doncaster, nothing to play for. But Colchester, they're into it. Crawley Town trying to get a playoff spot. Forest Green trying to stay in the league and get out of relegation. And then Crew and Stockport, we've got a battle on our hands, right? You look, MK Dons, they've got Knots not playing for anything. Harrogate, maybe. So they've got two. Crew has Forest, Accrington, Morecambe. Will Grimsby be safe by then? Yet to be determined. And then Stockport, Harrison, they're sniffing around. MK Don sniffing around, but no threats. Stockport, I don't know. That's just fascinating. Can't arrange Torquay at the end of the season. Yes, they did. The stadium was there before the team was there, and then they went out and got Wimbledon. They were shopping around for others. There was 4 or 5 teams they were looking at, and ended up grabbing Wimbledon and moving them over. And good on the fans for going to AFC Wimbledon and building that club back up and pushing MK Dons. Like they're in the same league, close to the same position. Man, let's talk about how crazy that would be. Could we put those two at Wimbledon just for giddens? Can AFC Wimbledon draw back into the playoffs? Can we just pencil that in? MK Dons at Wimbledon at Wembley for the right to move up? Man, would that be heated. Whew. Yeah, and they're in the fight. Let's look at the bottom of the table because I haven't really looked at it after that. So Grimsby, I think, is relatively secure. I mean, they're 5 points up. So to me, it's between Colchester, Sutton, and Forest. I mean, and then you look at where the cutoff is. Where would you say the cutoff is for teams that don't have a chance to eke into the top 7? Would you put that at Tranmere, 15th? They've only got 6 games left at 50 points. Accrington Stanley, 50 points. Bradford, 50 points. Donny, 49. Salford City, Swindon. I think all those teams are in the not to play for anything. The debate is, do you include Notts there at 51? They'd have to be going a massive run. Massive run. Right? I would be all over watching that one. And the stadium cameras around the stadium before and after the match. 68th minute, still 4-0 Stockport. Subs are coming in here for Stockport. More defensive stats. Oloafe is coming off. 19 league goals for Oloafe. And he's coming off for Odin Bailey. Bailey, I thought, stirred the drink enough for them. He's a regular. He's got only 1 goal and 7 assists. More of a midfielder than an attacking presence. And that's Bird, Neil Bird. Is that who we're bringing in for? Missed it. Swirlies are on the cutoff at AFC Wimbledon. I can see a team going on a run. That's really high to me. Like Walsall has shown the opportunity to go hot and cold. And I think that it's not just us thinking it, though. It's them thinking it, right? It's the players who've checked out because they look at the standings and go, we're not going down, we're not going up. Nah. And I still think down to Notts, there will be some players who still think if we can win out with 7, that's 21 points. That puts us at 72. Is there a chance that we could draw into the top? Got an opportunity. MK Don's a little bit too far. Is he going to get there? It's drawn back. Empty goals. Defenders collapse, and they just clear the ball. And so a little bit of an opportunity there. That was Harvey up there trying to get things done, just not able to. Wern's up there working for it. Down to Bate, who I haven't been impressed with today. I've thought his touches have been quite poor throughout. And I'm curious how much. Lewis Bate, 21. Yeah, I haven't been impressed. Lots of motion, no finish. Like he's quick, he moves around. It kind of looks like Bolton did in the first 3 games, just sort of a buzzsaw that does a whole hell of a lot in order to do nothing. So there we go. We got Andrew says Harrigan down. Yeah, I can see that. To me, Harrogate, Knotts, Tranmere, you're going to draw the line somewhere. I mean, if you're going to say Harrogate, then why not include Morecambe? Same number of games. 39, still at 54 points. But it is narrowing the competition. To the far post. And punched wide, 71st minute, and just nothing. MK Don's trying to get something off a free kick that went to the far post. Got the stab out there and just couldn't make it on goal. And so there's the question for you, Dale. When it comes to those bottom teams that have been doing well as against Wrexham, is that Wrexham letting off? Like, do we go into the Mansfield game saying, hey, when it's a big game, when it's a 6-pointer, Wrexham typically turns up for those. When it's an important game to secure points, Halifax, that's where we end up struggling as a club. Is that true with everybody? You get caught in those trap games and you're looking ahead. And some could have said this Grimsby game would have been a trap game, right? You're looking ahead to that big cracker 6-point on Monday, which yeah, who knows? I mean, you win that one, you draw level with Mansfield for the rest, just behind on goal differential. Just keep that divide at 3 points. Just keep that divide at 3 points. That's been the one thing that I didn't expect. I expected sort of the points where they were going to be, but what I didn't expect is teams go hot. And I expected big changes after January windows because that always happens. What I didn't anticipate was the big 6-game runs of form that teams can go on. Your schedule is a random determination of your outcome because you could end up playing every team in form, right? And that includes bottom feeders like what FGR has been doing recently and turning things around. I mean, they've lost 2 in a row, and Sutton said, okay, we're tired of Forest Green running it, so we're going to go make the push. But there's a real battle going on between Colchester, Sutton United, and Forest Green. Colchester, 3 games in hand over Sutton United, and 2 games in hand over Forest Green. And just eking out draws. 4 points in the last 5, Sutton with 7 points in the last 5, Forest Green with 6 points in the last 5. They're catching on Colchester, but they've got a longer runway. It's fascinating. Yes, McLean is back. And so the big question is what do you do with TOC? Does he take Boyle's spot? We'll talk about that in the after 90, I think. We're sitting at 74-13. I'll jump over to that one relatively quickly, I think. I just haven't done the graphics, and I might as well do that now. There's not much going on here. Get all this ready to go. Stockport still pushing. They're not laying back. Like, they nicked it. Now they've pushed it back to their center backs, but I think that's more about just maintaining possession and sending it forward. Is Hinchcliffe gets it immediately and thumps the ball all the way up to Madden on the left-hand side. Like, they're not sitting back by any stretch of the imagination. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys that are all 35, 40 yards or closer. Back to Madden. Oh boy. It's just going to be, and with the games compact over the Easter weekend, oh, my heart's not looking forward to this already. I'm going to have to go see a doctor and get some heart medicine because it's going to be a fun one. MK Don Torre takes a flop, doesn't get a call, looking for some sort of set piece magic. 15 minutes left to go in the game, probably 4 or 5 minutes is going to be left here. TOC is going to have a run out on Tuesday with the reserves. Are they playing on Tuesday? I mean, he looked good today other than his first touches, I don't think were there. But that's fascinating that they're going to put him out there. Stockport still working towards the goal. Put in, kicked out. Stockport thrown. Take your time, lads. Take your time. Stockport with a substitution. Hippolyte drawing in. So the logos are ready, so it shouldn't take me too long to set up the after 90 minutes here after this one. Just hope we can draw everybody in there. I'll put I guess I should copy and paste the link to get everybody to join it. It is on X if you're interested in drawing in. I would love to have more people join us on that, by the way. Have a brief chat, talk about what we've been talking about here, give your 2 cents. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just kind of go with it. And I'll put the links. I gotta grab them from up here. Oh, I can't grab it from up there because I'm on this one. MK Don's with it, 78th minute, wearing down the game. Stockport put it into cruise control. Still coming forward, but just after that up until the first goal, the MK Dons were dominating this match. They were, Hinchcliffe kept them in it, made some great saves, a little bit of bad luck, and then all of a sudden, it just all fell apart after that. So it won't work yet, but I'm going to put the link up for you guys to join us during the match if you want to copy and paste it. It'll be in the message, the YouTube link as well. And I will grab the the after 90 link, but you can find that on the live just so that everybody has it to be able to jump straight over. Opportunity there, just not able to get it. The MK Dons, that's just how their game's gone the entire time, is sniff around, get close, but no magic. And here's the after 90, and we'll put that link up here for everybody as well so that we've all got it. You can YouTube straight over and get there. That would be helpful, wouldn't it? Lower the goal differential by a couple. Grimsby didn't help us out there. Is that because you're saying to get through this one? 4-0, 10 minutes left in this. And then I'll jump over. And I'm not going to be the entire time. I've got commitments and stuff, but I will be there long enough to connect and let everybody go chat through, and I'll be sort of eavesdropping, I imagine. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, it is like having an extra point, right? And so it's going to be harder for us to catch Mansfield and Stockport because, like, even if we win and take the 6-pointer, evil on points, but still behind, Stockport's in the same situation. So the Bronx cheer going out to Kelly every time he ends up touching the ball. He thumps it down as the clock ticks away. Just headed back and forth. Heel kick. Lofthouse tries to get it forward. No luck there. $9,727 the attendance at Stockport. That's impressive and good for them. I stole that thought. Or you stole mine. Or great minds think alike, Swirly. I don't even know. Long ball in. MK Don still trying. Dean served that in. No luck, no opportunity to end up putting that one in. And there's bait again. The switch. Norman. Up to Gilby. Gilby missing that. You wonder, even when it was 1-0, whether that Gilby opportunity with the volley chance, something along those lines, would have ended up changing this the other way. The butterfly effect. And for the Dons, I think it was Kim who said earlier, all equal on 20 wins, the difference being the number of draws that they've pulled. Mansfield, remember, early in the season, they didn't lose for, the first half of the year? Lots and lots and lots of draws. And now they're reaping some of the rewards of that, the point difference between us, just because we've had 3 more losses than them, and Stockport 2 more losses than them. So that's been the delta. And the goal differential represents that. The teams like the MK Dons who have had those 13 losses, that's the 12 goal gap. 10 goal gap, 12 goal gap, sorry. Headed back to Hinchliff by Touré, and no problem, no mess from Stockport. Just clinical right now at this point. As we wind this one down. Mad with it, center of the pitch, looking to get it around. Draws it over, and they're just largely kicking it around in center backs, although the push is on. Collected by Horsefall. Is he just going to thump it and clear it? No, opts otherwise. Moves it over to the right and then takes his chance, and it's cleared out. And the Dons are going to grab it and look to play it quickly, but whistle blows. I'm assuming there's a sub, or is there a ball somewhere else and he wants him to grab and play from? And I'm going to go back and shut that poll down. That was running to see what people said. If the team had to win, everybody was voting for Stockport. So interesting. 69%. Next question on the poll. No, I won't put it up. But if you're an MK Dons fan, yeah, it's cleaning's going on. If you're a Dons fan, how pissed off are you at the manager? You blame this on the players or the manager? Maybe that is a good poll question. We'll do that in the after 90. Because I'm looking at that lineup. You take off your leading scorer and one of your best defenders. I'd have to look at Norman to see if he was coming back from an injury. Cameron Norman. Because it makes no sense to me. Oh, yeah. Cameron Norman went off injured for the MK Dons ahead of Saturday's clash with his former Newport teammates. That was back in February. I don't know how long he was out for. And he also missed out on the Gillingham game January 27th. And then he also got a bug back on the 23rd. So... Yeah, that's always fascinating. There was a point, like if Stockport would have secured the trophy, would that have been beneficial for us if we had to play for automatic promotion, right? You've always got to ask that question. Hey, Dave, nice to see you. Thanks for joining as we're winding this one down in a drubbing. Far less exciting than the first two games of the day. Mansfield Town, if you recall, let in a goal early in the 12th minute, but came back and were able to push that one to conclusion. And then the Wrexham game, control early on, but lots of heart and lots of feeling in that one. And then this one's just been a battering. MK came out for the first 20 and looked like the better squad, and then just clinical Stockport was early. And then once they got ahead, MK they haven't stirred the drink since that first 20 minutes. Bring up the stats just temporarily so we can have a look at it. Shots are 12-7 for the MK Dons, 63% possession, but you'd expect that down 4-0 to continue to go up. 409 passes, 424 passes. Yikes for the MK Dons, but just all in the back, nothing really threatening, and they're looking like we have been looking at times. Just the struggle is real. Three minutes to the 90, add the extra time. Man, I'm going to be a hungry dude. I'm an hour away from either having like almost the perfect day. The only more, like, just being nitpicky, if Canada was to win that one against Trinidad, the only thing nitpicky would have been for Colchester to be able to hold on over the Dons, or over Mansfield. Other than that, a pretty damn good day. We want who? Oh, we want 5. Stockport fans yelling that they want 5, trying to push their guys forward. We'll see. We'll see if the players end up responding to that. Yikes. How nightmarish is that? That's a flop. And they're going to give it. Torre's looking back. The Superman fly there. And Franchise FC, as you look at the sponsorship groups, Suzuki, no joke with that sponsorship. They're one of the larger clubs as far as bringing them in. Now I got to remember which one. I'm getting punchy. I'm getting tired. So it's going to be left-footed in-swinger, basically 3 yards away from the goal line, kind of like a short corner. Flat. No touch. Cleared out. Fascinating that they were booing the touch of Harvey on that ball. If I'm the Stockport, I'm celebrating him because 2 of his mistakes led to goals. Harrison with it, right-hand side. And he just gets run into, and we'll get another free kick from basically the same position. How about a red card to wrap this one up? I hope these guys get feisty. Bait. bangs it off of the head and it goes up over, it'll go for a corner. Yeah, it's not a lot of thrill, not a lot of joy in watching this one. But I am thankful for you guys joining. Like and subscribe. Did I get to 1,400? Oh, I'm way over. What happened with that? I picked up 26 subscribers. I will take it. I'm doing this little one. Good stuff. Bait with it again. Over to the left. 4 minutes of added time. So we are only 3.5 minutes from wrapping this one up. And then I'm going to jump straight over to the after 90 and get that one going and let everybody join in and have the chat. Join us. I know there's only 34 of you guys here. Join us. Somebody click that button. I'll send the links out again at the end here right before we all leave. Come over and have a chat. Ooh, and then a smack talk. Dean gives the shoulder charge, picks up the ball, walks around, gives it to the ref, and says, put it down, and he just drops it. Dean, not happy. I hope somebody responds with the similar type of emotion. We can get into a little tizzy. Foil on the knuckles, old-time hockey. Three people waiting in queue in the after 90 already. 2 minutes to get to that and a little bit of wind up. As MK Don's just not doing it. Not doing it. Link to the after 90 is right there. Oh, let's just scrambled that. And the link to join us for the chat is right there. And it could be 5. Into the penalty area. He waits. He gets it back. Drawn over to the left. Squared and missed to the right. 1 minute left as Bailey has a smile on his face trying to get that apple. Missed it. Ha! What a run. And the other thing that I can talk to you guys about is I believe that we're going to be on the first. The Wrexham plays on the second. We're going to be on the first, and I believe that the goal is that there's going to be 4 of us, and we're each going to watch a different game live. So it'll be like a watch party of 4 games all simultaneously where each person will kind of give updates, and then when an event happens, they'll report. And it'll be live scoring and details and all that sort of stuff. So that one could be interesting, could be fun, and we'll see how that one goes forward. Just wait until the 4th minute, and they're going to take a short corner, and the referee's saying, come on, make the play. Oh, and they're actually going to put it in. And, they asked the question, 5. $5-0 Stockport. Didn't hit the back of the net. They're questioning whether it went across. I think that went in from a distance. Smiles all around for Stockport as we'll see this on the replay. Horsfall may have gone in. Didn't look like it crossed the line. But then that was Neil Byrne, substitute in the 69th minute, who ended up getting it. I don't think the first one went in, and he didn't. He got it off the bottom of the boot. Not the prettiest of goals. Yikes. You know what? We're going to wrap this one up. Those links are there. They're blowing it down. There's the whistle right there. And so we're wrapping this one up to all of you who stuck through that. That was painful. That was ugly. And that was unnecessary. Stockport does it. It pushes MK down, but that's fine. That's where it is. And I'm going to wrap this up and jump over to the other one. I just got to get a couple of things up. Oh, I forgot to do one video. Bugger me. So I've got to do one video and then I'll go over. So I'm going to end this stream. I'll be over there in 5 minutes or less. You've got the links below. Come and join us as the run of football continues. It's a glorious Saturday so far. Woo! Keep it going. Keep it going. Got to find the energy. I need more caffeine. That's what I might have to go grab. 5 minutes and we'll be over after 90 minutes. See you there.